Hi, evening all. Thank you for having me. This is a landscape architect's perspective on the challenges and opportunities of future council housing. So it's a stereotype, but this is what I have in my mind when I think historically of council housing. A lack of understanding of how people, residents, can benefit from open space, poorly defined space. The car is up, it's kind of on a pedestal compared to people. No obvious purpose, and fundamentally the enclosed green spaces become quite a dog crappery in most instances. Moving forwards, we now realise the benefits of providing access to green space and amenity for residents and people, the mental health and physical health, the wellbeing opportunities that are derived from providing proper access to open space is fundamental. So our aspirations are significantly lifted. We're also talking to people more, so we understand what their aims and aspirations are. We're talking to children as well, and rightly so. We're looking at issues of child mobility within existing and new communities, how we can create safer routes to school, to the local shops. We're pushing cars down and we're pushing walking and cycling up. So a more typical view of the council homes that we're currently designing and delivering might look more like this: verdant, rich, diverse, a green domestic setting at the doorstep, which really focuses on people and how people interact, those incidental social interactions that make day-to-day life in communities so successful, and also generating pride in the place where you live. And yeah, having that really kind of clear domestic feel. That similarly translates into the more dedicated residential spaces at podium or courtyard level, where you have the benefit of controlled access at times. That may well be suited to people who have different neurological needs, might benefit from quieter, more contemplative spaces. And the pots on the right-hand side are kind of the idea of stewardship coming in and giving people the opportunity and the right to start to populate and inform their own spaces at the doorstep. Access is obviously up there as well, but, you know, providing design that doesn't just target compliance, but lifts and aspires to meet the needs of the current community and the future community of people who will live there as well. So one of our infill projects, this is Red Brick Estate for Islington, I think a fairly typical example where we're stitching in new homes in a really balanced and responsible way. The spaces externally have to work really hard, and often we are looking at the basics, making sure the pragmatics work, the bins, the bikes, the boundaries, the things that quietly fade into the background if they're done well. It's really important for us to consider that as a team, fundamentally. As landscape architects, obviously our canvas of work matures and grows and evolves, and it's a fantastic living entity. So maintenance comes in, and we've got quite a hard task with the current budgets available for maintenance, for softscape especially. So that's a difficult balance to play, but balance it we must. And then ensuring we've got adequate space for general socialising. We're always kind of pointing ourselves at play, and that might be focusing at the doorstep age of children. But what about young adults? What about women and girls who equally need space to feel comfortable and feel that they've got room within this new community? We're constantly having to balance those competing needs. We're working with other disciplines as well. We've got really strong links with ecologists and arboriculturalists who, when residents turn around and say, oh, I've lived outside this cherry tree for 20 years, can we keep it? So we can actually make that happen and work to kind of create detailed proposals, thinking about future tree strategies as well and bringing them along that journey. Looking at species diversity and climate change resilience and creating cool spaces through shade, but also knowing that we can cater to these more detailed wishes as well through correct collaboration. This was the before image of Sumner Road, a scheme we delivered for Southwark, which very unfortunately did necessitate the removal of some quite large London plane trees. So again, we're often treading a delicate balance, working with the tree officer to ensure that we are adequately mitigating tree removals, which do become quite a common necessity, especially where you're looking at tight infill sites. Albeit every effort is made to also retain these kind of significant green pieces of green infrastructure. So on this site, we looked at like-for-like girth replacement. We may be looking at a percentage uplift of canopy cover, but it's another constraint where we're looking to retain or replace trees and work with a smaller canvas of open space that might be diminished through new building footprints coming in, but achieve a qualitative uplift within the spaces that we are delivering. Segue into B&G, which is obviously one of our kind of main attention pieces at the moment, with that policy that's currently being consulted on by DEFRA. Trying to demystify some of the terminology and make it accessible and pragmatic to our clients as well, and really give day-to-day examples where people can see how biodiversity will create enhancement to the everyday life, fundamentally. We're looking at a clear hierarchy of spaces as well, very clear delineation of public to private. That was one of the criteria that previously was lacking. And looking at the kind of the healthy streets features, looking at SUDS interventions, looking at greening, looking at habitat connectivity as well as connectivity for people. So having greening wherever possible is one of those fundamental requirements of council homes, like any other home within the emerging cities. And then a nod to materiality and robustness. They're fundamental. We've got to invest this money that we've been gifted as landscape architects for the fabric of the open spaces really wisely, and that is constantly within the kind of the thought process, thinking about simplicity of details, ease of maintenance, ease of repair, whilst also having moments of celebration and joy, embedding traces that might be an interpretation of special qualities of a community that perhaps has gone, perhaps a community that is moving forward and evolving as well, but trying to embed and make every kind of thread of the hard landscape palette as enduring and robust as possible. This is the closing slide, so I hope I've caught up a little bit of that. The fundamental objective is to create open spaces where people feel safe, secure, that they feel is theirs at the doorstep, and they can use in a variety of ways and come together as a community. That's pretty much job done, I think.
Thank you very much.